Hi, friends, and welcome to an Exaltation of live chats, which is the proper group name for a group of live chats. Exultant, to say the least, but that's not the only reason why a group of live chats is known as an exaltation of live chats. It's just that when people try to refer to it as a murder of live chats. Hi, Zandy. How are you? A pleasure to see you here. Tonight, we're having an exaltation of live chats. Amber Thrasher, good to see you. And we're all about being proper correct. That's right. It's not a new hat, although it's a relatively new hat. It's my hashtag Strong Fist hat. This is for people who maybe are consumed with worry that their fists are weak. To which I'll say to them, oh, no, sir, or madam. Hashtag Strong Fist. That's what I'll say. That'll clear things up. And, clarity is next to godliness, as they say. It's either clarity or cleanliness. I'm not sure which. So, having another fight with Kimberly, of course. But it's really always the same fight. It's Kimberly is experiencing some sort of emotions not about me from her past or something. Then she attacks me. Jesus Christ. Amber, I greatly appreciate it. You are a wonderful human being. I don't know what to say about that. I don't come here live streaming expecting anything. Okay, I want to make that abundantly clear. And your presence here is always welcome and pleasing, regardless of anything. So just keep that in mind. I really do appreciate it, though. But wow, thank you. Happy about your fight. Well, it's not, it's like, it's the same fight as always. Earlier today, I was dealing with the fact that I got to take care of my mom this upcoming week. I'm going to make some videos about that process, probably. We're going to go to do various things during the day, like go to little things. And anyway, I was talking to Delilah and saying, Delilah, be there on Sunday when my dad's getting ready to leave town. He wants the whole family there to sort of say, no, we're all got to be chipping in to take care of mom this week and stuff. And if you're there and do, help me Sunday selling the idea that we're all on board here, then I won't really ask anything of you much this week. Well, that pissed Kimberly off to no end, but it had nothing to do with anything that I did wrong. It was just, she's got this weird thing where she compares herself to Delilah or something, like they were sisters, and I was having a favored sister or something. It's weird because that's what her experience was as a kid, but it's not like that at all. Obviously, it's my daughter and she's Kimberly, and it's not the same kind of relationship at all, And she thinks, well, Delilah needs to help out more. You're just shitting on stuff for no reason, This hat is so fierce and fabulous, and I just can't help myself but adore your bam, and your extremely important message and aiding the help of understanding humans and themselves. Well, thanks, Amber. You even have a picture of the Earth, so I knew which Earth you were talking about, because I would otherwise have been somewhat confused by that. Your fam bam, huh? What's my fam bam? Is that my family? Me and Kim and Delilah and my parents. So if that's my fan bam, then I love my fan bam too. But I tell you, man, there are times when I just go, okay, Kimberly, I have legitimate problems I got to deal with here. I got to deal with my dad, who's old and Freddy himself. I got to deal with my mom, who's like a fucking 1.5-year old, and I gotta put a handle on all these different people who have different, who want to be reassured emotionally in different ways. I don't need additional problems, you know. Oh, Sam Bam is anyone you adore and love all but the chicken. We have another chicken now. We have 2 chickens, by the way. We got a friend for Red because she was getting, we just didn't have enough time to spend with her one-on-one that she wanted. Chickens are flock animals. They need to have friends. So we got another chicken to be her friend. They get along well. They're good friends. And the new chicken is named Maud, Maude, or Maudie, as Kimberly usually calls her. And she's a black and white speckled chicken, and she makes smaller eggs than Red, but they're just perfect eggs. They look like eggs in a picture. Red's eggs sometimes come out with like a wrinkle in the shell or something. It just kind of looks a little. They're bigger, but they occasionally have blemishes. Well, the bottom line is I've got to stop being reactive when Kimberly attacks, because what happens is Effie Blast is Red's main power. Maud, I haven't quite typed her yet. She may be play blast sleep swim, I think, or double blast double play double swim, possibly. And when Kimberly attacks, and that's what it is. It's like we get into fights because she attacks me, because she's feeling emotions about something unrelated to me, or that are totally out of proportion to something related to me. It's like, this afternoon when I came home with my mom after running a bunch of errands and getting stuck in Norco waiting for these worms and yada yada. I bought some worms for my compost pile. When I got home, I snapped at her a bit. But then, I snapped at her because she snapped at me, basically. I told my mom to go to the bathroom, and then I just stood out on the front porch there for a second, waiting for her to get out of the bathroom, and then I decided to start watering the grass a little bit. Well, as soon as my mom went out of the bathroom, instead of coming out front with me so we could go pick up the pizza that we had called in to pick up, she wandered over to Kimberly's hair studio where she had a client. And so Kimberly comes out and yelled at me. But it's like I had my mom all morning long by myself, without any assistance at all, and had everything gone just fine. And I sent her to the bathroom and I look away for 1 minute and she goes back there. So Kimberly, chastised me about letting that happen, and I barked at her. But then shortly thereafter, after we'd eaten a little pizza, I apologized and admitted it was wrong of me. I was hangry, and I'm sorry I barked at you there, that it wasn't appropriate. And as typically happens, of course, when I do the right thing, Kimberly shits on it and goes, "Yeah, you did." She's fucking rubs it in. She takes it as an opportunity to drive in the steak or something. And then after that, she started up with this whole shit about how I wasn't making Delilah help enough or something. And it's like, you are just finding shit to complain about and criticize just because you're upset, because you're jealous of Delilah in some weird way, even though she's my daughter and you're supposed to be my woman and teammate. That's damage. The thing is, the damage is fine. I can deal with the damage. I can deal with the attacks. I can deal with it all. What I can't deal with is her not communicating with me, not ever working with me communicatively to make any progress on anything. Well, I mean, look, the thing is, she came out and and shouted at me because my mom had gone back there into the studio, and I think I said something like, I didn't even really say much of anything. So like, Kimberly, God damn it, I'm taking her right now. Something like that, And so that's what I apologized for later. And I wasn't even prompted to apologize for it or anything. She said, well, actually I was. She said, you came home and you talked to me like that, blah, blah, blah. And I said, you're right. I'm sorry about that. I was hangry. But then, it doesn't do any good. She doesn't feel any satisfaction for that, So I don't know what to do about that. And then when she then starts attacking Delilah and my parenting and stuff, which is ridiculous. I start getting mad, So then we're arguing back and forth in the car. I'm on the phone in the car, and she's at home on the phone, and she's being her typical petulant, obstructionist self. And I start screaming, and then she hangs up on me, and then we continue talking. But then from that point forward, it's all about how I scream at her, even though that's exactly what she's constructed. She's done everything in her power to make that happen. Now, it's still my own behavior and my own responsibility. I'm accountable for my own behavior. And I do my best to not scream ever. I should not give her any ammunition. She finds it somewhere, She will always find it somewhere. And she will always find a spot where she can safely get away with attacking still, as I cut off some of the spots where she can no longer get away with attacking without, me laying the lumber. So, I do the best I can, but too little, too late. I mean, I wish I could get that little, that late from her. If there was some reciprocity, fine, $100 per gram is FI, $20 per gram is FE, $10 per gram is TE, $5 per gram NI, $2 per gram of SE, $1 per gram of NE, and $1 per gram of TI. An exaltation is what it is called when you have a bunch of, I believe it's doves flying in a flock. It's called an exaltation of doves. Or is it? I think it's doves. That wouldn't be pigeons. Whiz Sauce. Eric, I love your videos. Well, thank you, Whiz Sauce. Question. I'm a young INFJ, and my attention is constantly directed towards other people, even when I'm home. Any advice to focus my attention to something useful? Well, first of all, let me just say that beginning that chat with Eric, I love your videos is very effy attentive of you. It's like, first, let me prime this person with perception management. Now I'll ask my question. Any advice to focus my attention to something useful? Well, I would say this, Whiz Sauce. If you're an INFJ, then it is the case that FE is your tool function, not your dominant nature. And so when you seek to solve problems in the world, whether they're difficult problems or just opportunities or whatever you want to call it, you seek to use an interface function where you engage with other individual people, understanding their motivations and the social dynamics, and accomplish your outcomes that way. So first of all, remember that expert feeling is your instrumental value. It is not an absolute value. It's always in service of something else, either your NI or your TI or your SE. So when you're using extroverted feeling, the reason you feel like you're always doing it and you don't know what to do when you're not doing it is because it's your tool function. That's natural. the key thing is to remember that it's meant to serve other things. So let it be your dominant modality of dealing with shit, fine. But put it in a proper frame so that it's you're effing to accomplish some NI vision as a way of bypassing your 4th slot SE, which is pretty weak. In other words, manipulate people into helping you get shit done. That's my answer. Let's see here. You both set each other up to fail while needing to be understood. At the same time, it's a conundrum. See, that's not the case, Amber. I don't set her up to fail. I do everything I can to set her up to succeed. And I do everything I can to avoid these fights. And I speak kindly to her consistently. And I speak positively to her. I don't criticize her. And I, in general, am a loving and good relationship partner. In contrast, she does not speak kindly to me. She is very critical. And it seems to have no concept of proportionality at all. So she will get just as angry if I put a spoon in the wrong place as if I crash the car. It's like it makes no guy. She seems to have no sense of pulling back and placing things in the proper perspective in terms of significance. It's strange. But yeah, it's not both sides are setting each other. No, fuck no. I'm doing my goddamn best to make everything succeed, to let her have victories, to concede when I'm wrong, to affirm her verbally, to help her when she needs help. I mean, everything I can do. But I cannot do the communication part myself. It's like trying to help a wounded wild bobcat. It doesn't know you're trying to help, and it just keeps attacking you when you're helping it. Oh, yet you still expect her usual reaction? She's not reacting. She's proacting. I'm reacting. A good critique of me would be, Eric, you need to own your own response and respond differently if you expect to change anything. That'd be an absolutely fair critique, and I'm trying to do that. But it's absolutely not a fair critique to say that I'm doing shit. I'm doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different response. That's not the case. She's doing that for sure. Or I don't know if she's expecting a different response or not. She when she feels bad feelings, I am her whipping boy, whether those bad feelings are about me or not. And in ways that are unacceptable, in ways that are unhealthy, it's like if I were more subject to actually being abused, I would call her abusive. And some of the things she does certainly are abusive. It's pretty, it's something called outrageous overshadowing, which is to say, in some instances, one party really is at fault. I mean, the thing is, I've spent a long ass time trying to attend to all the legitimate complaints that she had. But I didn't understand that the complaints weren't actually complaining about the thing they claimed to complain about. She is complaining or criticizing as a habit of interaction. That's how love was modeled to her when she was a kid. It's not her fault, but I need her to acknowledge that that's the basic foundation we're building off of here. She's got some damage and she does some fucked up shit, and it's okay. She just got to say, my bad, I did that again. I'm trying to stop. I'm sorry. That's it. That's all she got to say to me. Something like that, to show me that I can, in fact, communicate with her. Because if she won't communicate at all, I'm willing to bend over backwards in all the communications to concede any and everything I can find that's reasonable for me to possibly concede in order to make her feel as though I'm dealing with the situation fairly. I don't want to win. I want us to win. She wants me to lose. There's no disputing that. In every one of our conversations, where there's any disagreement at all, she desperately wants me to lose, and she will never, no matter what, give me any satisfaction of winning anything. Despite the fact that I make a concerted effort to give her that satisfaction all the time. So, it's it's a mess. But and I don't need her to be different than who she is. I can accept her for who she is. I can accept the attacks. I can accept the damage. I can accept all that shit. But I can't accept the ongoing, continual state of denying projection, where she just denies and denies and denies and projects shit back onto me. It's just not going to fly. She's going to have to admit some shit if she's going to change it all, or at least if she's going to be acceptable, like tolerable. She's got to at least be able to communicate with me. Okay. Now that I've gotten off on that topic for a long time, I think Courtney Love killed him. There's a conspiracy theory I believe in. You feel naked, whiz sauce. Ironic. 1 gram is 10 minutes of using that function. Oh. Why don't we just call it 10 minutes of it then, instead of 1 gram? In honor of Kurt Cobain, what type do you think he was? I think he was an INFJ. I don't think he was an INFP. Everybody says he was an INFP, but I was thinking about this in the car the other day, listening to some Nirvana songs and stuff. His music is not INFP music. It's INFJ music. Everything about him screams hyper aware of perception management hollowness. I think he was an INFJ. Let's see here. Some people suppress a level 8 of 10 of stress and quickly jump to 10. Yeah, maybe. Kimberly does a good job of hiding her feelings. Like hiding any pain. She's a fighter. She doesn't reveal any vulnerability. It's almost impossible to get her to be vulnerable with me, which is what I'm asking of her, really, when I say, work with me, agree with me on some things, admit some things. I'm saying be vulnerable enough to have a fair conversation with me and to trust me enough that I'm not going to use your vulnerability against you. That's something she's never learned, because everybody, I guess, in life has, or they did when she was young. She's in therapy now. She just started it. She went to her 3rd week of therapy today, and this fight happened after she got back from therapy. But I don't know if whatever happened in therapy had anything to do with it or not. May have. You can only allow people to go so far until one pops off. They pushed you, they will get what they asked for. You two love each other. I do love her, and I want everything to work out, and I want to be with her. But she's got to indicate to me, preferably in words, that she appreciates and values me, and respects me enough to be a little bit vulnerable sometimes, and to have a fair conversation with me. Internal family systems was the most useful therapy I had in a decade of searching. Internal family systems, huh? I'd like to talk to you, Planet Ketchup, about that. I really would. I'd like to have a conversation with you about that. I'm going to be live streaming for a while still, probably like an hour more at least, or so. But if you're still available or want to talk after that, I would love to have a conversation with you and pick your brain about it. Courtney Love did not kill Kurt Cobain. They were happy together, and that's exactly what he couldn't handle. Feeling good is not something that he was used to or could understand, so he tapped out. That's possible. I've read some things. I used to just assume it was bullshit that Courtney Love didn't kill him, but I read some things recently that were pretty strangely the murder notion is not cut from whole cloth. It's not somebody just made up some urban myth and that's just it. there are good reasons to think that she might very well have. Okay, but I not enough to prove it or anything, but you know. So yeah, okay. Well, it's midnight now. Where are you? Are you in the East Coast of the United States? Okay, let's see here. I think of Frances Bean. Air hugs to her today. Yeah, air hugs to Frances Bean. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and give Frances Bean Amber's bong rip. Is that okay, Amber? Do you mind if I let Frances Bean have your bong rip this time? I'll smoke another one for you. Actually, you don't need to give her yours. I'll give her whiz sauces. Whiz sauce, you were going to get a bong rip, but I'm giving it to Frances Bean. And the other one can go to Amber, of course. I don't think she cared about him. Do you think she cared about him? Or do you think she was just a gold digger? I ain't saying she a gold digger. Frances Bean, you feel that? That's the lemon pepper from the connoisseur shelf. It's good stuff. I didn't skimp today. Oh. She's such an ESFP. Not that there's anything wrong with ESFPs inherently, but you know, if you want to see an example of celebrity that I'm willing to type, I'll tell you right now, Courtney Love, ESFP. The thing is, she's got no talent, right? Her band was shitty as fuck, but they got a hit and everything because she was with Kurt Cobain. So it worked out for her. It's like it was a good career move. Rowan Morgan offers, maybe she feels overshadowed by you or doesn't have the self-esteem to allow herself to be vulnerable with you and has resentment born of feeling inadequate. The thing is, I mean, that may be the case, but she won't let me reassure her or comfort her or anything even. Like, she won't let me... She really basically won't let me pass her defenses very much. Lately, she's been letting me pass some. We're making progress. We're making good progress until this afternoon. You loved Hole, and she had an Oscar nomination. Okay, well, it is probably hyperbolic to say that she was no talent. She had some talent. I think she was a better actress than she was a musical artist. Hole had one song that I liked that was on the radio, and I just felt as though I never trusted her. Even, you know, back when both Hole and Nirvana were active, I just never trusted her. Do you have any thoughts on the types of the Beatles? Well, I would guess that Paul McCartney is some kind of NFJ. This is a guess. This is sort of gut. John Lennon is probably an INFP. Now that's more like an INFP. And George Harrison is probably he might be an NTP. And Ringo's like maybe ISFJ. Try to read this. Wrong words. Either that or wrung out weirdos. Two dull parts, and I'm only happy when it rains. Never trust a badass bitch like that. Is that her song? I'm only happy when it rains? Kimberly wants to control through FESI, having more info over you than you over her is prerequisite in FE world. Just me. I need help. I'm an INTP and extremely stuck in introverted sensing. What can I do, man? When you mean you're extremely stuck in introverted sensing, does it mean you keep reliving the same bad memories over and over again? Um, that's a good song, Amber Drescher. I'll agree with you on that one for sure. That's a good song. So Cobain's songs made it sound like he was in a shitload of pain. Well, just me, is that the case about your memories? You're stuck in bad memories? Because if you're stuck in bad memories, oh, no bad memories, good ones because it's bad currently. Oh, so you're avoiding. You're playing. Let me just reminisce about these things that have already happened rather than deal with the real time current now. Okay. Well, what you need to do is something that's not what you're supposed to be doing, but that's something that's not what you're currently doing. So if you go do something that you're not supposed to be doing necessarily, then that'll be easy to do because you know you're not supposed to be doing that. So of course that's easy to do. If not drugs. I mean, okay, well, there's the other solution, Jasmine. The other answer is take Adderall if you're not already currently taking Adderall. If you're currently taking Adderall and you're not getting shit done, you need to stop taking Adderall because that means it's not working for you right now. Garbage, I think. Was that garbage? I'm only happy when it rains. Oh, but Amber says the whole song. Okay. Well, one of you is right. I heard that when it comes to reading words, as long as the first and last letter of the original actual word is in the correct place, you can always understand what is written. I mean, not always, but yeah, more or less, because we don't really process words as sets of letters. We process them as recognizable symbols that gain recognizability in context. So it's much easier to read a whole sentence done like that than it is to read one random word like that. I never look back, darling. Edna, The Incredibles. Looking back is a complicated matter. Looking back is something that's worth doing some of, and it's also kind of dangerous. It's, to be SI in full is to contain within you everything you need already, or at your immediate disposal. And thus, in that regard, you're almost no longer alive to be fully SI because you've successfully disconnected from everything that's not you. I knew an INTJ girl who would read the first sentence and last sentence of every paragraph and finish books at super speed with great comprehension. Well, good for her. I want to be able to do that. Oh, well. Yeah, some people have like weird magic powers, like look at a whole page of text and go, okay, got it. Like, what the fuck? How? What? Huh? Now, it must be an I thing, right? Where you're just saying, I'm going to understand this thing as a whole, even though it's inherently durational by nature. Thank you for the warning. Rowan warns, decaf Earl Grey tastes like lemon scented pea. That is a good warning. We all appreciate that, Rowan. Everybody, stay away from the decaf Earl Grey. I guess they packaged it right next to the urine factory. Okay, you're jealous too? Yeah, well, it's not fair. I also want perfect pitch. Why don't I have perfect pitch? Me too. Just to talk about SI made me think of Edna's quote at Amber. Why does decaf everything always taste like garbage? See, I don't necessarily have that that experience. I like decaf coffee fine because I don't really drink coffee for the caffeine per se. Although I usually get caffeinated coffee. If I go to the 7-Eleven and there's decaf next to the regular, I might get half and half, or sometimes I might get decaf if I feel like it. Just get a little bit of caffeinated in there. Because caffeine mostly just, if I drink too much of it, upsets my stomach. That's its primary impact. This bong rip is for Amber. Time for a little transubstantiation. This is lemon pepper, Amber. Okay. So tell me if you can taste the hints, the floral hints that kind of represent kind of a lemony floral. I would call it more like flower pepper. But see if you can taste the lemony hints of floral flavors, plus the clear pepper aftertaste to it. Okay, let's see. I hereby transubstantiate this. Now, having transubstantiated that, naturally, I was unable to feel or taste it at all. But Amber presumably was, of course, able to both taste and feel it. Did you catch the hints of lemon and pepper? Sugar substitutes. Sugar substitutes are terrible. Nobody wants any equal. Nobody wants any sweet and low. Nobody wants any Diet Coke. Just put regular sugar in there. Hi, Kimberly. I watched his TED Talk today, and that would be who? The guy who can calculate things as fast as a calculator. Okay. So the log hurt the rose. I don't know what that means. The log hurt the rose. That's confusing me, Zandy. You're confusing me with your confusing words. James Barton. Maybe you could try writing down how you feel and giving that to her instead of trying to get through to her verbally. Well, James Barton, that's a good suggestion. That's what I did last time, and it was a lot more successful. I probably should take that approach. The last time I did that, it was the first time I had done it ever, and it did work out better. It was more successful. James Barton says, I don't know much about your situation. I'm just trying to throw a new idea out. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. Sugar substitutes side effect, pee like waterfall. Jeremiah Fix, you have such strange comments in the chat here. Also, forgot the name. I saw it on this show, Stanley's Superhumans. Long ripping time. Oh, you are eating a lemon? Are you sure? It may just be the flavor of the long rip convincing you've got a lemon in your hand. What's the efficiency of Eric's metabolism? 5%. Is that good or bad for metabolism efficiency? Miss Kimberly, yay, you're here, beautiful, gorgeous friend, says Amber Drasher. Hashtag air hugs.
Thanks, Amber. That's the first smile in an hour.
Oh, Foxy Lady, says Jeremiah Fix. Mary Lou Lord said that Kurt Cobain was born lonely. Sounds INFJ for her and for him, but for her, she was always good at predicting who would make it. Mary Lou Retton? The gymnast? Kim equals Kim. ERIC equals Eric. Thanks, just think about it. Is that how we spell our names? I'm going to be insensitive to the ENFP who got typed, please, but I liked Kim's reaction. It was hilarious. I thought it was good, too. I enjoyed it. Yes, it got a little bit of pushback, but, that's one area where Kimberly and I have never had any conflict. I love Kimberly's contributions to the channel across the board. I love it when she's contributing with the videos. I trust her decision making. And I appreciate
your own relationship.
I appreciate her. I appreciate one thing about my relationship with Kimberly that I very much appreciate is how beautifully Kimberly fits into with the channel and video making in general. And it's perfect. I mean, I didn't know what perfect looked like until I experienced what it looks like, which is this. Kimberly does a fantastic job of fitting in. Not just fitting in, but of making the channel better, of making me better at being on YouTube and at engaging with people and at chiming in stuff that's both useful or interesting or whatever, Do you like Goethe's works? I've never read anything by Goethe. I have read Dr. Faustus by Thomas Mann. And I liked that a lot. It was one of the more influential books in my life that I've read. Zandy says she's your biggest cheerleader. Zandy, that's sort of true on the channel, about the channel. Like, she's a good teammate with the channel. She wants to fight anybody who's disagreeing with me, She's a great teammate with the channel. And I very much appreciate that. And she deserves, probably, I should note that more frequently in my overall calculi, I guess. Okay, let's see. That doesn't even that makes less sense. Just think about it. Does Kimberly have her own channel? No, Kimberly does not have a channel, as far as I know. And
thank God.
She's pretty, I guess you'd say, exposure shy. Like, I think one of the things she probably enjoys about the channel is that it allows her to be herself with plenty of cover. It's like, I'm here to run interference. If anybody wants to seriously start talking shit, then I'll block them or something. Because it's one thing that I won't like. My general belief in free expression and everything. As far as like, I don't quote unquote ask for truth or comments or anything like that. I respect everybody's right to say what they want to say, basically. But there are some things that I will remove or even block the person. And one of those things is talking negative talk about Kimberly's appearance, for example, will get you blocked, or at least at the very least your comment removed, maybe like reported or something. I probably wouldn't report it, probably just block your ass. But I don't like that, and I don't let like stupid racist shit and what else won't I? I mean, if shit in general gets too attacking on Kim, I'll just remove it. She used to receive comments on her phone all the time, like I do, but she no longer does because it would upset her too much. Like, she'd see some comment and she'd start wringing her hands and go, "Oh, I knew that was a bad idea." It's not a bad idea. It's just part of the general reality of things. You can't please everybody, and you're going to get some pushback on some things. If you start getting a shit ton of pushback on a video and not very much push forward, then you're probably, oh, that was probably a mistake video. Well, I make mistake videos sometimes. I'm pretty comfortable making mistakes and going, yep, I made a mistake, and just sort of assuming that everyone's going to say, well, he may have made a mistake, but he's human and he's trying his best like anybody else, and he's willing to admit it and stuff. So Zandy says if they mess with Kim, they mess with all of us. Thanks, Zandy.
Thanks, Sam.
Haters are just confused for future fans. I like that. That's a clever statement. I don't like to think I have fans per se. For a while there was this little stretch of time when I thought the little tagline of the channel should be "Friends, not fans," because I don't like the separation implicit in that whole notion. It's like I wouldn't want somebody to use that word about me, even if I were a fan of that person. I'd have to explicitly sort of give them permission first before I'd want to hear that word used about me. There are some people I'd be willing to say I'm a fan of, like who? I don't know, but I guess it's not a bad word, really. I feel like I'm a fan of Frank James, kind of. I dig his shit. I feel like I'm a fan of Ron Paul. Not anymore per se, but I appreciated his vigor and his defense of his principles and his principled approach to the whole thing, trying to be consistent about everything. So Ron Paul will be another person I'm a fan of. Who else am I a fan of? Let's see. I'm a fan of Vin Scully for sure, the Dodgers broadcaster. I would be like a fanboy in front of, like, oh my God, it's Vin Scully! Oh my God! I wouldn't be able to help myself. He's such a fixture of Los Angeles and media in general, royalty, and he's just so graceful in everything he does. It's hard not to be a fan of it. Oh, he's a Nazi now? I didn't know that. I don't think that's true, Jeremiah. FJ is neurotic in a charming way. Yeah, Roan, Morgan, Sandy. I hear a lot of people agree that, there's something very appealing about him. I think what appeals to me about him is he's very intuitive. He's smart, and he's very INFJ. He's got great instincts, and he's developing them as he executes them. So Conor McGregor, he's an interesting guy. He likes to fly off the handle. He's the kind of guy that you don't really want to test the limits of any with. Go up and start verbally sparring and start winning a verbal battle with him. You don't really want to win a verbal battle with that guy. You get your face flattened. I joined one of his live streams a while back and couldn't stomach the fangirling. Oh, Frank James's? I watched a bit of one of his live streams too. I was mostly paying attention to him, not really looking at the chat. He wasn't really interacting with the chat very much. R2D2 bowl. You have an R2D2 bowl? I wish I had C3PO here. Then you and I could have we could pull Star Wars bar riffs together. See, the thing is, I wouldn't doubt if Amber as well. I suspect Amber too, based on what I know about her generation, is a episode 456 person. I grew up with 456, and to me, those are the Star Wars movies. And the other things that came later are just, I don't know. They're kind of like wah, wah, wah. The first three Star Wars movies, 4, 5, 6, those are masterpieces. Just each of them is a masterpiece. Brilliant movies, and so good. I mean, when I was a little kid, it was like watching that movie was like a 94-minute long orgasm. Just like, oh my God, outer space and robots and fuck yeah. I really liked Star Wars a lot. The new ones are pretty mad. My dad wants to be on your channel. Can I get your email address or something? Sure, and up. My email address is my name, Eric Strauss, backwards, which is to say SSUARTSCIRE, shift at GMAIL.com. Like that. Rowan Morgan was completely in love with Luke Skywalker when he was 5 or 6. Rowan, when Luke was 5 or 6, you needed to be not thinking about it that way. Oh, I mean, when you were 5 or 6, I see. Okay, my bad. Yeah, Frank James makes me laugh too. I love Star Wars. My son and I are going to Disneyland for his 21st birthday to get drunk with Mickey and Darth Vader. Well, that sounds like an adventure. I wonder when is Delilah's 21st birthday? It's end of September. She probably will, Good night, Planet Catch Up. Yeah, I would like to talk to you about it then, if you're available. You have my email address too. I think you've emailed me maybe before. If you could email me again so I can get your email address easily in front of me, it would be helpful. Like the Force, I just woke up. Really? The Force just wake up? Stop doing live stream when I sleep. Oh yeah, your document. That's right. Okay, I'll find it. Cool. It's just you're the lady of multiple names. I feel a close camaraderie with a lot of MBTI YouTubers. I like how you read or acknowledge almost every comment. I second the fandom of Vin. He was the voice of the Dodgers my whole life. Poetry. Yeah. And he was somebody that my mother really openly, verbally appreciated a lot. She would like ooh and ah over his like literary allusions and stuff. And just say, oh, Vin Scully's the best. And, she was a big Dodger fan. And so I've got that link too. It's like I spent so much of my childhood. I wasn't necessarily listening to the game, although sometimes I was or whatever. But whenever there was a game on and it was summertime, my mom was off work. She didn't work summers and I didn't work summers. Because I was in school. She'd have the Dodger games on. She'd be gardening. Just constantly in the background, right? And anytime there was a game on, it was on the TV or it was on the radio. So I heard a lot of Vin Scully. I had a lot of Chick Hearn too. If Chick Hearn were still alive, I'd say I was a big fan of his. He was great. Let's see here. Amber, I guess it's cool you two can do that. Good luck with getting drunk with Mickey and Vader. Yeah, I hear Mickey's a bit of a teetotaler, so I'm gonna have to really get on. Have to somehow schmooze him. Oh, okay, that's cool. I'll just email that then or something. Sinjin, we have been blessed with your presence. Indeed, Sinjin has fallen from heaven like manna. Delilah, I'm sure, would love the same birthday surprise party, but go after September. It'll be a freaking madhouse in September. Oh, and Disneyland. She's at Disneyland right now. Oh, not today. Yesterday. She was at Disneyland yesterday. She has annual pass. She's one of those, what they call them, annual ass holders. Kimberly, is that what you said they call them? I always hated Star Wars. The first three were okay, but didn't get all the hype. I think as an INFP, I'd like it. Well, that's the nice thing about feelings. You don't need to have a good reason for them. Let's see here. Yay, live stream, says Tyler Peterson. Just think about it. May the 4th. That's May 4th. Correct. Have you taken a personality test to find out your function percentages, or you consider that a waste of time? I would consider that a waste of time because there's to the extent that your functions can be represented as percentages of your total attention, then that percentage would be best measured in terms of total time of the day spent engaged in it. Except it doesn't really work like that. Your front four functions work in coordination with each other. Your dominant and your tool function are mostly going concurrently most of the time. They periodically, sort of in real time, for me anyway, they'll step aside. NE and TI will step aside sort of for a second as I consider FE considerations. And what that means is, like, my FE will chime in and go, like, you're being too harsh. I'll think that to myself, and then I'll try to pull back a bit, and I'll focus some on FE. Or the simplest example of it, and the most frequently used example of it, is if I'm having a conversation, a video conversation, so there's somebody else here instead of just me and the chat, then if I'm recording a video like in video conference, in that instance, I will have periodically my FE will pop up and go, okay, you've been talking too much now. You need to stop talking and let somebody else talk, or you need to ask a question now. You've been making too many statements. You need to turn the whatever. It'll prompt me sort of where to go and how to do. And then I'll have to sort of keep in contact with that FE frame of reference for a stretch of time while I'm continuing to attend to that for a bit, And my most successful conversations are therefore one-on-one because I can most successfully manage the FE dynamics with just two elements to consider. Then I have much more trouble when there's 3 or 4 or whatever. Amber's an Angels fan ever since my brother and I met Reggie Jackson in the 1980s. Reggie Jackson, slugger with a high strikeout percentage. James, the original spiritist of Star Wars, is interesting. Everyone was into Star Wars, so I wanted to like it as a child. I enjoy it now as an adult. Harrison Ford was my bae. Harrison Ford was a ruggedly handsome and devil-may-care jaunty fellow. I heard the same thing. Oh, sir, it'll be super upsetting to watch Mickey's head be ripped off to take a shot at I don't give a fuck. Yeah, Delilah is an annual pass holder. Disneyland is in Amber's top 3 fave places to be, since, of course, I do blissfully believe in magical thinking. Well, that's the best way to believe in it. If you're going to believe in it blissfully. Okay. If I had covered all of these comments successfully, Thank you, David Kipke, for noting that you like how I read or acknowledge almost every comment. That is something I'm learning is an asset to my natural way of doing things, I guess. So I like that because it provides me an avenue potentially of attaining viewership and so forth that doesn't require me to make any changes. It's like most things that if you want to do this thing well and right, you do it like, yeah. And Eric, you're kind of hit and miss about that because sometimes you feel like this and sometimes you feel like that. Except that's not the case in this thing because this is what I think live streaming is just going and reading all the questions and answering them or comments or whatever. And I would love it to get enough people in here that I like it when I have trouble keeping up with the comments, so that it continually drives the momentum of the thing forward. Because since I rely on it as the engine for the topics, really, or what I want to talk about, then it's good that it's well received because it's naturally the way it's going to be. Sometimes when you say things about MBTI things, I need to stop the tape and think about what you say. So much to think about. Wish you had some transcripts sometimes. I wish I had transcripts too. That's why I need Magic Sky Friend. Magic Sky Friend is my imaginary app that somebody needs to make that transcribes all my shit, tags it all, organizes it according to a set of criteria that I have in mind, and uploads it, and then writes descriptions and does all that shit. I want that app. It's called Easy YouTube. But Magic Sky Friend is another good name for it. So, does anybody have any questions? Perhaps for Kimberly or for me? As you heard before Kimberly came out here, she and I got into a little conflict again. And I was feeling kind of frustrated. And I'm sure she is as well. And I think this live stream has helped in that process because it's helped me to remember a lot of things that I appreciate about her, which helps to move me away from the frustration aspect of things. Have you seen Limitless yet? No, I've not seen it. I have not. Does it have any limit? How can you tell if somebody has 7th slot FE or is just a dick? Well, 7th slot FE is not necessarily going to be a dick at all. I think dicks are more likely to be 8th slot FE. 7th slot FE are going to be quiet, seem awkward, maybe be socially ungraceful, but probably not going to be assholes. So you can tell 7th slot FE because they're quiet, awkward, ungraceful. If they're INTJs, they have a kind of weirdly Asperger-y kind of way of talking. But remember that Asperger's isn't a real thing. The only limit is the amount of episodes or length of movie. That's 2 limits then, just think about it. Amna Can. I really enjoy your channel, Eric. It always gives me something to think about. Well, thank you, Amna Chan. Magic Sky Friend. Oh, it's Magic Sky Friend is what it is, Amber Rasher. Magic Sky Friend. He's a friend because he does all the shit that I don't have to do for me. He's magic because I don't program this thing into an app. Someone else does. And I have no idea how that happens or when or why, but that's what makes it magic. And it's Sky because I don't even know where this app lives. somewhere in the sky, potentially. Okay. So that's why it's Magic Sky Friend. Daria Nardi's Keys to Cognition system told me I'm an ISFJ. Now I'm laughing. Daria Nardi's keys to cognition system, huh? What are the keys to cognition? Is it lemon butter, pepper, and maple syrup? Those are the keys. Let's see here. FYI, YouTube will generate a transcript of a video from their auto closed caption. Really? They make a transcript of it? I thought they just... Okay, well, maybe you can download that. It'd be a mess, probably, but that'd be a starting spot. Let's see here. Do you see better before or after a rip? I see equally well. Hi, Miss Kimberly. I adore you and host Eric. Air hugs. Amber Drescher. Thank you, Amber Drescher.
Thank you, Amber.
Tim Bullware. Do you ever focus your FE to pick up on subtle body language and facial expressions? Try watching Jeff Goldblum on late night TV. Your mind doesn't run so fast when focusing on a fidgety person. I rarely do that. I probably should practice doing it more. Be a good idea. That's more active FE than I'm used to doing. My FE is sort of, well, I mean, it's a scorecard. It's not really, but you know, it's like that's the nice thing about metacognition is you can intend and willfully cognate or attend in ways that you don't, you wouldn't otherwise without the metacognitive process. Saw. I watched Jennifer Lawrence for FE help. Jennifer Lawrence. Do you watch her talk about FE help, or you just watch her and how she behaves and try to emulate it? What are those books in the background? They look stylish and sell something. They're these funny books I bought at the yard sale. When I saw them up here, I was like, "Oh, these are great prop books." I didn't get them for that purpose, but yeah, they're great set making books. As you can see, I'm working on the set right now. It's not going to stay these colors. I got this other thing. I got a mat today at the yard sale that I'm going to use to cover these over, and then when I get it all put up there, I'll try to do a layer of all one color, probably black, and so it'll look nicer. And then I'll put this thing all set up and everything. It's in the process. Oh, does this happen? Okay. So, oh yeah, these books, right? What are these books? This is called Illustrated Medical and Health Encyclopedia. And it's got cool pictures like this. Last name though I got is this picture of this lady playing the piano. It's like, I got a cane. I'm on a rolly thing. I'm healthy. Now throw me the ball. Or this lady. This lady's great here. The caption says, "All." This is so fucking tragic, though. I can't believe I'm even laughing at this, but it's just, yeah, it's tragic, but it's weirdly hilarious. It says, although these children are physically handicapped, they are able to enjoy their books and keep up with their studies. And then there's these fucking horrible pictures of this girl in this weird thing with a mirror. Oh, that's horrible. Anyway, yeah, it's pretty bad. It's a pretty bad book, but I mean, you know, it just was interesting to me. Like, why is this? What is this book? Like this one. This is a great picture. That's a great picture. Water exchange. Intake 3 quarts. 1/3 quart goes to the lungs. 1 3/4 quarts goes to the kidney. 1/6 of a quart, intestines. And 3/4 of a quart goes to the skin. The rest you piss out. All right. Oh, I see what the problem is. You're only directing about a 1/4 quart of water into your lungs right now. You need to have a 1/3 quart there. Have you checked your dipstick lately? It is a good reminder to drink water. That's just one of 4 of these. I've got 4 different volumes of this. I mean, the excitement. Like, look at this picture of this guy. This man is experiencing a stabbing feeling in the chest. He is on his way home after spending a few hours exercising at a gym. Really? A few hours, huh? Middle-aged persons who are not in condition should not take part in prolonged and strenuous exercise. The strain on the heart may prove damaging. And you can see the picture of him right here. Let's see what else we got here. That was pretty good. These pages explain how to perform things without back strain. Okay? Without back strain. If you're currently performing things in the wrong way, you may be straining your back. Let's see. When opening the window, the tip of the spine end should be curled forward and under. The legs, as well as the arms, should be used. Correct standing position when standing before the mirror. The legs and back are straight and relaxed. Back strain is caused by bad posture at the left. Bending is from the waist. The knees are held back and tight. The body is not relaxed. Don't sit like this. The poor sitting position shown below throws the body out of line and invites an aching back. Note the crooked back, hunched up shoulders, and legs twined around each other. Don't sit like this lady. She's sitting wrong. Okay? Check how you're sitting right now. If you're sitting like this, you are sitting wrong. Sit like this. Straight up. Okay? Ladies out there applying your makeups in the morning. If you're doing this, you're doing it wrong. You're standing wrong. You're being wrong. Your makeup's going to come out wrong. Do it like this. Again, ladies, window openers. Those of you who are out there opening windows like this, what are you doing? You're doing it wrong. Move this shit out of the way, first of all. And then sort of touch it. Just like that. It's like, okay? Yes, Miss Kimberly is still here. I think she's waiting for me to end the live stream.
No, I'm not.
Oh, my bad. My bad. I'm sorry. I didn't know that was not the case. What is this? So, this is what it's like when a baby comes out your vagina. It's like, yeah, like that. See? Now you know. That's what it looks like if you were to cut a woman in half while she were giving birth. Long ways, of course. Long ways. Let's see. There's skeletons. What's this one? This guy. Oh shit! This guy is looking at a guinea pig in a little bucket. Science. I'm doing science. You can tell. I got the white coat and everything. Well, what science are you doing? I'm seeing if this guinea pig fits into this little bucket here. Okay. So, have we built up any chat to discuss? Let's see. Here we go. There's no reason why a raisin can't be eaten. That's true. I think it's time for host Eric and Kimberly Love Time with a square. Political hacks, MacMe and apathetic INFJ. Interviews with her behavior. Be sure to wear your most fiercest, most fabulous hat of hats, though, while you leave your hat on plays and enjoy each other. It's Friday. It's good advice, Amber. That's very good advice. Let's see. Whole lot of woman. Who is that referring to? Somebody in this book? It's one nice encyclopedia with pictures. I hate FE-DOMs. All they care about is if you're smiling amongst the crowd. They think you're selfish for not matching them into the group. Smile, fucking smile. Stupid instinctual fucks. Well, FOSology, I don't think anybody's going to mistake you for an FE-DOM. Given your wholehearted condemnation of them. I mean, I get it that it can be a little annoying. I like positivity too. But they're a little much. It's like this lady, this chick in the front of this boat, she's clearly an FE-DOM. Look at that big smile. I'm rowing. Mostly, though, I'm posing for the picture. Join the Matrix. We should all read with mirrors. Leave the humans behind. Bong ripping time again. It is. Kimberly, Juan Pablo? Is Juan Pablo there? Does he want one? He doesn't? Okay. Is he wearing a scarf? I couldn't tell. Oh, the scientist with the guinea pig? I'm not sure. The important thing is he proved his hypothesis. His hypothesis was this guinea pig could fit in that bucket. He took some time to think about it. Eventually came up with an empirical test. Said to himself, I know I should try putting a guinea pig in the bucket. Ooh, somebody. Who is that? Thank you, Tyler Pearson. Greatly appreciated. Very kind of you. Very much appreciated. The guinea pig, right? That's what I was talking about. I was like, don't lose it, don't lose it. What were we talking about? Turned out it wasn't very important. I was just talking about the guinea pig. That relatable moment where we all realize we're sitting like that at the moment. Yeah, I'm sitting like, oh, look at me. Look at me. I do this kind of shit all the time. I've got my torch on my lap and my book on my lap. So I've got my feet lifted up off the ground so that they don't roll onto the ground, right? So I just sit like that, incredibly uncomfortably, rather than move them. That's called, I guess, bad SI, fourth slot SI. Let's see, where are we in the Chizats? Hell yeah, sitting is important to know how to do. Kimberly is still here. Thank you for the imagery. You're welcome. If you don't know, now you know. Knowledge is power. I'm just sitting here, SMH. Lamau as well. Possibly could be seen as hypercritical. Everyone just sit up straight. This is totally hysterical. I did a science. Yeah. Nah, I'm still sitting wrong. Oh crap, I'm late for class. Sorry, Professor Eric. Okay, bye, Sheila. Have fun in class. Don't forget to learn. Whatever you do, you're there to learn. Be a lifelong learner. Hey, Zandy, says Sheila. Still sitting crisscross as always, even though it hurts like hell when I stand up. That lemon pepper bong rip has got me. Yeah, well, it's pretty good. Is artistic preference determined largely by type? Artistic preference, probably. I mean, I think that it's important to note that there are those who don't really express a clear, that their preference is natural, like Kimberly's, because she's not a musician, right? So she just likes what she likes, and that's it. And I think that kind of taste is less type dependent. I think that when people become musicians, then their taste in music starts to reflect their type more. Oh my, look at Tyler Peterson with a fabulous super chat by a friend you would truly appreciate. Air hugs. Yes, you are truly appreciated, Tyler. Thank you. The guinea pig is actually, was the guinea pig who was a scientist? Oh, and he's training that guy to keep his eyes on him even when he's looking away. See, that's a pretty smart guinea pig. And he's got that guy convinced, the guinea pig does, that if the guy looks away from the guinea pig, at any point, the guinea pig will know. The guinea pig's got eyes on the back of its haunches. So, that's science. Now, that's science. The paramedics are going to have a funny picture of you when you die. Well, okay. Make a video about incel people. When are we going to meet Maud? Sheila wants to know. When are we going to meet Maud? Maybe tomorrow? I don't know. So, make a video about incel people. The thing is about that, I've talked about the subject on a number of occasions before, and my take on it is I feel I got distracted by Trey. Oh, right, incels. I feel sympathy for them. I feel identity with them because I felt the term didn't exist. I didn't hate women because of it, but I certainly went through an extended period of my life where it was not what I would consider reproductively viable. And you know, that was troubling to me, but I didn't do anything of the MGTOW sort where I said, well then me. You know, like there's this the biggest problem with the incel idea is it's the same problem with almost every idea that people have about relationships and stuff, which is at the end of the day, it's always two people making some kind of a connection that goes where it goes. And it's like, if you're considering yourself an incel, then you're not considering women people, you know? You're saying, I mean, it may be the case that you're involuntarily celibate, but the implication is that it treats women as though you're never actually interacting with any specific woman, right? It's like to claim that you're involuntarily celibate is to say that I'm not looking to make a connection with a woman who will turn out to be important to me. I'm not looking for that at all. I'm looking for women to have sex with me. And because they don't, I'm involuntarily celibate. Well, it's the wrong attitude about it at all. Completely. It's like, oh, look at that. Look at that. Okay, let me put these things down. Did mommy get you up in the middle of the night to come be on TV? Yes, she did.
Sit her down on your lap so she's comfortable.
There you go, Maudie. Mod Podge. Where are you going? Hold your horses, little missy. Hold your proverbial chicken's horses. Okay? There's no reason to just eat and run. Excuse me, I'm trying to love you with my heart. You're not being very cooperative or loving. Hello. Yes. Yes, I see you. I know the importance of wonder. I know the glorious importance of wonder in your heart. And there she goes. Yeah, she's a chatty Cathy too. She likes to all the time. Looks like a small turkey. A little bit. Let's see. When is time and space going to be separated? Hopefully no time soon. When are you going to meet Maud? She asks. You just did. What you cooking? I'm hungry. Nougat. Rich creamery nougat. A big batch of nougat. A barred rock. Oh, is that what that is? She's adorable. I love her sounds. I love her sounds too. She's a black and white speckled chicken is what I would have called her. She's barred rock though. Okay, it's good to know. Ben Shapiro's type debater. I think Ben takes a very NITI approach to while he debates, but I'm not sure what type could he be. He's a tough one. I mean, the thing is, he is a debater, probably, like an actual debater, you know, like he competed in high school, probably. But and that makes it hard to type in. He could be an ENTJ who's learned all that shit and knows how to debate because he mastered it in high school. And he's developed since, having the foundation that we can work off of. But I would suggest that it's also possible that an ENTP who's learned to make TE style arguments a lot of times. He doesn't always. He makes lots of TI arguments. I mean, debate's necessarily a TI process, but there's some things we can glean from what kind of argumentation people favor. Shapiro seems to do some shotgun stuff. They'll run like mixed frameworks and stuff. So that would suggest the NTP. James Barton, go get a white coat and put her in a bucket and snap a photo real quick. Good suggestion. I could accomplish some science tonight, and I wasted opportunity. You know, I put her in a bucket, and then I could shoot some air at her from my canned air, which I have around here. It's up there, yeah. That'd be making sure people know that it's science. I could also have some unlit Bunsen burners nearby, just to indicate further that this is a place of science. Amber's already in love with Maud. That's Maud is a nice addition to the family. I think she fits in well. She's gets along with Red.
She's sweeter than Red.
She's sweeter than Red, but less friendly than Red. Christopher Hitchens type. I don't know. I've never watched the guy really. I've never really read any of his books or anything. I just know kind of his arguments and of him. I don't really have any experience with him. So it's hard for me to say anything about him really. Thanks, Kimberly, for showing her to us. I bet Red loves having a friend.
She does.
She does love having a friend. Do I like poetry? I do like good poetry, but I am fairly particular about which kind of poetry I want to read. I typically want stuff that has form, let's say meter, preferably meter and rhyme. And I want the meter to be right. I don't want it to be pretty close. There's a lot of, like, you know, the place where you get a chance to actually experience poetry that has the possibility of being read is with kids' poetry. So, you know, it's most good poets that you're going to encounter in the world are probably going to be kids' poets. Like Dr. Seuss is obviously good. Dr. Seuss is obviously better than most poetry for kids by a large margin. And why is that the case? Well, because of the meter and the rhyme.
I think Shel Silverstein's pretty darn up there too.
Shel Silverstein's not bad. Am I on the West Coast? Yes, I am in the greater Los Angeles area. I'm in Los Angeles County. So, just do it. Don't think about it this time. Just do what? What are we doing? Oh. Yeah, Dr. Seuss is super fun to read aloud. It's because it's so bouncy. You know, it's all bounce, no flounce. As they say in the medical community, in the illustrated medical encyclopedic community. This is where I get all of my medical information. I assume nothing's changed in the last, let's see. What year is this? This is the 1966 edition. Fantastic. That's pretty recent. I'm sure nothing's changed in medicine since then. Okay, now listen. We're doctors. We're serious professionals. And that means we need to get some chicks sitting up on the balcony watching us admiringly. Okay, so you chicks sit up there. We're going to do some doctory shit down here. You other chicks be the nurses. And Jesus Christ, our hands are bloody. What is this? An engine to a Ford or something? Let's see what else we got here. What does this say here? Drinking water near swimming pools must be controlled. The common use of drinking cups, towels, combs, hairbrushes, and other toilet articles should be strictly prohibited. In swimming pools? Swimming pools. That's important. Now look, this is the classic doctor. The classic doctor move. Okay. First, I'm gonna put this big circle in front of my eye. That way I won't be able to see so well. Now open your mouth. There, okay, good. I'm gonna put this curved thing in there. Get ready. I'm gonna jab this shit down the back of your throat. Malaka. Let's see. What other wonderful pictures do we have here? What's up with this lady? She's got rectangle eye syndrome. We couldn't do anything for her. These are the before and after pictures. She still has rectangle eye syndrome. Okay, let's see what else we got in this book. Oh, good. In case you were wondering, this is how tuberculosis spreads. Okay? Just like this. See him shoot those lines at her? Those are lines of tuberculosis. He's shooting them directly into her, and now she's going to have it too. So just beware of that. Okay? Poison Tree by William Blake. This here's a poison tree indeed, so poisonous and poison mead, as poured into a poison cup, was poisoner than poison sup. Today, feeling poisonous? Yay! That's the end of that poem. A lateral view of female pelvic organs? Ooh, la, la. Look at that. Ooh, to the law, to the law. Modern X-ray apparatus has attained a high degree of technical perfection as evidenced by this major X-ray unit. Here, the patient is about to have her stomach examined. The physician, seated before the fluoroscopy screen, observes the action of her stomach as she drinks a special preparation. Drink this. What is it? It's a special preparation. Okay, well, and that's tonight's stories from Medical and Health Encyclopedia. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm glad you noticed that, Ron. Tuberculosis does not spread below the shoulders. Correct. So therefore, one should never stand up straight. No, one should never. One should always stand on a chair. Is the key. Okay, because otherwise, the lower you are, the more likely it's going to land above the shoulders. Get stilts. That's what you got to do. A stilt-based solution. It's one of the few things in life that really provides you the alternative to use a stilt-based solution. You know, they're very, very, very rarely are they useful things. All right. Well, I think I'm going to wrap this up. It's grapefruit juice. You know, it's funny because I don't really, I don't really like. I looked at the time ago; it was only an hour 40. I don't really like wrapping it up that fast because when I'm listening to it in the car and I get towards the end of that hour, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever I go, I don't know. Nothing else to listen there. It's like I'm doing so much driving around with my mom. The other thing is having the live stream continue to play in the background when I park with my mom and I say, okay, you stay in the car, mom. We're going to go into this place and get this thing or whatever. She stays there better and is more comfortable there when it's going on. I think she thinks I'm still in the car with her, because I'm just keep talking. Okay, so you're welcome for the lessons, Professor Sheila. And thank you for the FE, which is very much appreciated. And thank you for your positive relationship with Kimberly, and I appreciate that as well. Scuba. What happens when everyone starts wearing stilts? Now we're all back to eye level. You're talking about the never-ending war. Get taller and taller and taller. And I think we know that's not going to end well. I mean, pretty soon, people won't be able to handle the height of the stilts that they're on any longer. And you're going to see people, dying from a 6-story fall. Going to be for people who eventually it'll be like you can't open the newspaper without reading a story about another guy who got his head chopped off by a plane flying by because his stilts were that tall and he was standing near the airport. It's like an everyday occurrence before you know it. So I'm thinking maybe what you do is let's not tell anybody about this. Just okay. Everybody say, look, there's only 16 people left. Okay, the people who already left, if they like Sheila already left, don't tell Sheila, okay? Because this is, hopefully she wasn't paying attention during all the time we were talking about it. But anyway, don't let this out to anybody else, okay? And that way we'll know. We'll be the only ones who'll know when the epidemic starts to be on stilts. It'll give us a head start at least before other people catch on. So here's the plan. I want everyone to see this is like, pinky promise, bite your finger, make a little bit of blood, pinky promise kind of thing. That when the tuberculosis epidemic starts and we start working on stilts, we're going to tell everybody that we're trying to join a circus or something, okay? Say you're practicing to join the circus. Do not say, I'm on stilts to avoid the tuberculosis. Then what's going to happen? What are they going to say? Well, why? How does that work? Then you'll let the cat out of the bag. As soon as they hear the word shoulders, everyone's going to be on stilts. Hey, just think about it. It's not that easy to get your message out there. Believe me, we've got almost 5,000 videos and almost 5,000 subscribers. So, at that rate, we can expect only one person to be reached by this message. So we can keep it to ourselves. And then once we're on stilts, we'll have the advantage. We'll survive the tuberculosis epidemic. Then we, talking with famous persons, shall inherit the earth. And all the ladies will be Eves and all the men will be Adams. And it'll be ooh la la all day long, all night long. Yeah, well, the 17th person can join too. Okay, number 17 that just got here, you can also join with the still plan. Stick around in the lobby afterwards where everyone will still be milling around and talk to either Amber or Tim or Um, Zandy already has too many people bothering her, so don't bother Zandy. But whoever 17 is, talk to one of those people or Rowan or somebody, and they'll explain to you about the stilts, okay? But just shh, lock it. Okay. All right. So good night. Sleep well. And thanks very much for watching. Thank you very much, Amber, and also Tyler Peterson. I greatly appreciate your super chats and have a good night.